What is going on, Wastelanders? It is me, the Lone Vault Wanderer, here with a Fallout 4 news update. Now, before I get into this, I just want to ask you guys, if you like watching my Fallout videos, if you like mod videos, then please check the description below. There is a link to my latest Fallout New Vegas Mods Weekly video. I would really appreciate it if you support that series, because aside from Fallout 4 content, my Fallout New Vegas Mods Weekly is what's really starting to gain traction on my channel. So I would really like to continue that trend, and hopefully the videos get just as popular, if not more popular, than my Fallout 4 videos. But anyways, to this news topic. So 15 hours ago by my time, somebody on Reddit by the name of Slappy Mancuso put a post which you can see on the screen right now, but I will read it out to you verbatim. He's essentially saying something along the lines, in really short and crude terms, Bethesda is doing something with their website in the background, which suggests that they're preparing for a new site launch, but I will get into that. So I will read from the top to the bottom. You can follow along on the screen if you'd like. So Slappy Mancuso starts by saying, "This is kind of interesting to me as a web developer. A while back, I noticed the source of the Fallout site had, among other things, a fairly old version of Google Analytics installed. This is generally free software that lets you track various metrics for visits to your website. It has a lot of advanced features for those willing to put the time into it, and some of those features only became available more recently. In many cases, an update of the code on a given website is required in order to take advantage of those newer features. Somewhere in the last few weeks, and I'm sad to say I check it kind of often, Bethesda updated their analytics code on the Fallout site. I'm attaching a couple of screenshots. I will also put the links to those screenshots in the description below, alongside the post to this Reddit article. But anyways, continuing. I took one of them on 2/11/2015, which by UK standards, European standards, it is the 11th of February, and the other was taken this morning. They illustrate the old code and the newer Google Tag Manager code found today. For the sake of curiosity, I checked the Skyrim website. After all, it's wholly possible that they're just upgrading for the sake of getting everything more current. Oddly enough, the Skyrim site is still using the same older implementation of Google Analytics that the Fallout site was using very recently. It can be viewed here, and there's a link to that as well. It could very well be meaningless, but in my experience with web development and particularly analytics, we tend to integrate this sort of thing into old content ahead of a new site launch. It lets us get some control data into our new analytics scheme, and it gives us an opportunity to work out any bugs in reporting or integration. The fact that Skyrim's site is still sporting the old code makes it seem like this isn't just them going through and upgrading everything, although they may have just not gotten to that one yet. Now, if that wasn't confusing enough, he actually posted a second time which tried to clarify things. You can see that post on the screen, and I will read that verbatim as well. So when asked the question, first off, man, giggity, you got my balls all tingly. Very nice, by the way. Second off, as someone trying to learn web development and the programmings and whatnot, please explain what is going on in that pic. And Slappy Mancuso responds, sure thing, the code I highlighted is the JavaScript to initialize Google Analytics on the page. The older code is based on ga.js. Look for that bit in the larger block of code. ga.js is the classic analytics package. It was the backbone of Google Analytics for years. Towards the middle of last year, late spring I think it was, Universal Analytics based on analytics.js got out of the testing phase and became the standard. You can read about it here, and he put a link. There's not actually any code on the current homepage directly referencing analytics.js. Rather, they're using another Google product called Google Tag Manager. It allows you to drop one section of JavaScript onto a page, and through that you're able to propagate several others. With this, they could be dropping analytics, remarketing code, and various other tracking mechanisms through a static block of code that doesn't have to be updated each time they make an adjustment. And then the last paragraph is not that relevant. So, after trying to digest this, I got some ideas from Mr. Matty Plays as well. He made a video on this quite recently. He's very fast with these things. So the way I see it, there are a couple of options here. First of all, as he alluded to in his first post, it's wholly possible that they're just upgrading for the sake of getting everything more current, and they may just not have gotten around to doing the Skyrim website yet. However, the second option, which I think is more possible, if we do say that they're just upgrading for the sake of getting everything more current, let's assume that there was no Fallout 4, right? Why would they be working on the code for Fallout first? I mean, wouldn't you want to be working on the code or updating the Google Analytics for your most recent video game, i.e. Skyrim? Wouldn't Skyrim be receiving the most attention? Because right now, it's presumable that the Skyrim website is getting more traction, is getting more clicks than the Fallout website, because after all, it is the most recent game. And because of that, my thinking is that they're anticipating the Fallout website for some reason to be getting more traffic in the near future. So they want to get that site right, they want to make everything more current for that website, and then once they get all the bugs and stuff out of the way for that website, then they can move on to Skyrim. So from my perspective, they seem to have a bit of a prioritization going on here. If they didn't have Fallout 4 in production, and it was solely Skyrim that they were working on, or it was another Elder Scrolls game that they were working on, then all of these updates with the Google Analytics and the codes, etc., they would be focusing on the Elder Scrolls website, but instead they're focusing on Fallout. That suggests to me that they're anticipating that they're going to be having a new site launch for Fallout, and it's not merely just an upgrade, a mere upgrade, because if it was just a mere upgrade, they should be focusing on the Elder Scrolls, because that's the most recent game. And I think we all are kind of resigned to the fact now that it's going to be Fallout 4. Their next game is certainly going to be Fallout. Simply from a common sense and a business perspective, you don't make another Elder Scrolls game when you've already recently done Skyrim, or that was the last game you worked on anyways, when Elder Scrolls Online is just about to come out on consoles. It just doesn't make sense. So if we are assuming that their next game is going to be Fallout 4, yes, it makes sense for them to be upgrading that, and then you can work on Skyrim or the Elder Scrolls website once you're done with the Fallout website. If they weren't working on Fallout 4 at all, and say they were doing another Elder Scrolls game, then maybe you'd expect them to work on the Elder Scrolls site first before getting to Fallout, because right now it is the most recent game and it is getting the most traction and the most traffic. That's just my opinion on it. Of course, I don't have the background knowledge into web development, into programming, into JavaScript or whatever, so I'm really taking this guy's knowledge at face value. So if anybody knows more information about that, please share your thoughts in the comments below, but that's really just my ad hoc opinions about all of this. Anyways, Wastelanders, again, I would love to hear your thoughts below. Please check out my most recent Fallout New Vegas Mods Weekly video. Again, the link is in the description below. And until next time, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourself. And as always, keep fighting the good fight.